Good morning, James Chapman. How are you doing today?
Phenomenal. Yep.
What's cooking in the oven, son?
Oh man, I just keep thinking about the quote, difficulty is the universe's way of weeding out the undeserving. And I feel like it's really tried to test me on that here lately.
Oof.
And I'm just trying to stay the deserving. You know what I mean?
Yeah, every day.
I love that quote. But I'm fired up, dude. I got some amazing things going on. Got some new folks joining the team. I mean, we're going hard, man. The future's looking really bright.
What? That's
Did you just break your mic?
Mm-mm.
No.
Mm-mm. I turned it back on.
Oh, you turned it back on? Is that what you said?
How was the audio? Probably wasn't good, was it?
It was fine. Apparently, I didn't even notice.
Damn. Is it a lot clearer now?
Yeah, you sound beautiful.
I'm ready to put on my radio voice.
No, is that it?
Yeah, I've been working on it.
I want to take that one back to the shop.
No shit.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Dude, you got a face for TV, you know what I'm saying? So since you got that beautiful face, don't try to get the radio voice. You don't need it.
Don't need it.
Don't need it.
Okay. I've been listening to this book about negotiations, and he said everybody needs a radio voice.
Really?
Mm-hmm. You ever heard the book Never Split the Difference?
No.
Well,
it's a good one.
Yeah. Yeah, I got the whole team listening to it.
So what's something new you've learned in the past since the last podcast?
Something new?
Yeah,
what's something you've learned? Well, I do want to make a note that I didn't mean to skip over your coming up accomplishments.
Yeah, I'm feeling good about them.
Yeah, dude, I love that for you.
Yeah. I'll take the little wins when I can get them. I'll ball them up, put them in my pocket and save them.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's the only thing that gets us through.
Yeah.
Yeah, the big wins are great, but it's all about the little wins throughout the week.
Yeah.
That's something new I've learned.
Yeah. That's something new you just learned this past week?
Mm-hmm.
All right. That's good. I like it. Something new that I just learned I really like is when so working with my coach, he had me lay out, he basically gave me a my expectations worksheet. Really cool. So bringing somebody new in, hey, here's what your performance is measured on, right? Or here's the expectation of what I'd like to see you do. Here's the actual performance measurements.
Yeah.
Here's my expectations on, like, it's got spots like this is how you become my hero, like going above and beyond a couple of areas. And then honestly, something I realized I do, and I don't think it's specific to me because humans are such weird, finicky creatures. It lists out, hey, here's basically the things that piss me off. And, it's so strange. Even though I feel like I'm a very candid person about things, how we expect people to come in here and then know our pet peeves or the things that just aggravate us, whatever.
Amen to that.
And then they're supposed to pick up on our cues of when we are aggravated or don't like something, and we won't just directly communicate it to them like, hey, if you do these kind of things, it's going to frustrate me.
Yeah.
These are my main areas of frustration. Don't do this stuff, right?
Yeah.
And I think about how many times I've sat there and stayed pissed at somebody because they weren't picking up on the hint of that, hey, you doing that pisses me off.
Well, that entire thing goes right back to almost every single podcast that we do is the communication and how important that is across the board, whether that's, business, personal, it's all the same. And that's something else that Morgan sent to me as well. It's like a little grid. Mm-hmm. And you have like the 4 points of like, this is what I expect. This is what it is. This is how you could be my hero, that type of thing. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah. Yeah. So you've seen that before.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah.
I used it for a little bit.
Worked so good you quit.
Yeah. Amen to that.
That's right.
Yeah. But no, so did you start implementing that across the board?
So I've done 2, and yes, I want to implement it across the board.
Yeah. I mean, and that's it, one lays out expectations, but it also lays out the road or the path to, this is what this means to me.
Yeah.
I don't remember the um the part where it was like this is what pisses me off.
Yeah, well, I think it said, I can't remember the exact terminology. This is things that will drive me crazy as it's put on the sheet.
Got it. Yeah, no, I like that.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. With when it comes to, people who are inside of your company, I mean, you want them to understand all four of those,
Mm-hmm.
all four of them, because the moment you set that expectation and that's the new standard of, this is how we run things with me, right?
Yeah.
Then you can start adjusting from that.
Yeah.
And you're going to run into a lot less communication issues or um the not intimate issues, but what am I looking for? Personal? No.
Just conflict.
Yeah, you run. Yes. Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Yeah.
This is why we are so simpatico. It's not even funny.
Yeah. That's
I
what we
just
do.
wish you were a little bit faster.
Yeah. Well, I like to give you a minute. I don't want you to speak for me unless you ask me.
Yeah, I did ask you.
Yeah. Um, but I mean, like I said, I think sometimes we forget how complex as humans we can make a situation that doesn't need to be complex. We can make it simple. We can lay it out on the front end, right?
Yeah.
Um, and then a lot of times we look back and go, like, man, that's so stupid. Why did I do that way? Or why did I make that so difficult? What I have realized though is I mean, I can only speak for myself, but I'm assuming this is others. Then you realize that, but then you do nothing to change it, right?
Yeah.
Um,
Choosing to be blind to a situation.
yeah, yeah.
Amen to that.
Sure. So, so implement something that helps you help set the people that are coming in up for success in the good and the bad, right? Or the areas where they can cause trouble or issues or things like that. Like set that up where you are helping continue to build for success. You know, this market's weird, man. And my industry is pretty odd right now. I mean, I think, y'all are in what real estate, y'all are dealing with huge issues on supply and demand, right?
Yeah, supply and demand is the biggest right now.
Yeah.
More so than interest rates.
Yeah. So like, anybody in any industry, probably for the most part right now, can tell me the problems that's going on in their industry, the concerns,
Right.
right? And like the economy's not doing bad, but it's weird. It's like everybody's still kind of on pins and needles, like
Yeah.
waiting for like the other shoe to drop. Like, because like in my industry, I mean, I see all the issues that are going on. I'm like, man, what is this really going to create other problems for the economy as a whole, right?
Yeah.
Um, that being said, like to me, I always try to look at this as like, this is the real economy. This is like what's really taking, this is what's really going to take to get things done. This is the digging that's going to have to happen. When every time you just walk in and deals are being done and money's coming in like never before, enjoy those times. But like, this is the times that make you better at what you do. This is the time where if you dig in, you can really separate yourself from others.
Yeah. And that's what business is about. It's not about the easy times, and it's not about when everything's coming over hand and fist. It genuinely is what you said. Like it's very much the little bit more difficult times or even the hard times is what makes or breaks a company.
Yes, like to me, it's really not so much the difficult; it's the real times.
Yeah.
You know, you
Yeah.
gotta be sharp. And I say all that because I'm continuing to learn and continue to try to stay humble in my process that I can get better and I can advance. And I'm half the time I'm the problem, the other half the time or anytime I'm the problem, I can be the solution, right? And you all of it's an opportunity. Right. May not be the opportunity you want, but it's an opportunity. All with that right now, as it's been for quite a few years now, the hype around being that entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Everybody's owning a business. Everybody wants to own a business. Look, I've I felt like I was built for it. That I have skill sets that have helped me there. It's still so difficult at times. I'm still so lost in it at times, right? And so don't waste this opportunity to learn what you can from it.
Yeah. And if you're getting into it or you're getting into what you're trying to do at this current moment, when things are, like you said, pins and needles, it's gonna show you what it's like, right? It's gonna show you, and it's gonna give you everything that you asked for, but it's not gonna be the way you asked for it.
Right.
And I think that's what's important, and that's the best part about all of this, and that's what's best part about the world in general is like you'll get what you ask for, but it's not going to come without trials, tribulation, and the grind.
Yeah. And the way it teaches you is not going to probably be the way you want it to teach you.
No, no, and but you have to go through those motions to be able to get to the other side of what's going to come.
Yeah, I mean it's back to the whole kid and touching the stove, burning the hand kind of thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's all it is. It's just
Yeah,
different forms of that constantly.
100%. And there's so this week has definitely been um has been a few of those moments with the team, but also with myself, and it's very interesting to see how um what the adaptation is going to have to come from it, right?
Yeah.
So
back to my question, or the point I made a little while ago, where I said, we expect people to just know what aggravates us, right?
yeah,
Talking about that sheet. Have you been guilty of that?
all the time, dude.
Yeah. So if something that simplistic and obvious to me, to you, to probably everybody listening, and then they're also agreeing that they've done it. Now, fast forward to the conversation we just had about business and the lessons it's teaching you. Don't make assumptions on anything right now. Like, test new ideas, try new things, question things that you haven't for a long time, right? Look at those things and see how you can do them better, advance them, like, because it always worked, back to the basics, right? Like, okay, maybe the basics need to be you just evaluating something and not doing it out of just muscle memory.
Yeah, and that's a big. I mean, that you can apply that to absolutely everything, whether it's physical movement, mental movement, personal life, business life. Like that is applicable to every single one of those things.
Yeah.
And you've got to evaluate where you're at and what's going on. Mm-hmm. Because if you're not actually problem solving, you're just hanging out.
Yeah. Yep.
So I think that right there it should be the name of the podcast.
Yep.
Right? Evaluate.
That's it.
Cool.
Short, sweet. Take that, apply that, chew on that, marinate on that.
Mm-hmm.
Do something with it.
Or nothing with it.
Yeah.
All of the above.
All of the above. It's
a multiple choice question. Guys, with that being said, make sure to check out our sponsors, Jocko Fuel and Origin USA. All American made stuff, good, solid stuff when it comes to pants, gis, shirts, rash guards. I mean, they've got it all. So if you guys are looking for something and you got a little itch because you wanna buy yourself something nice, that's where you want to go. And that's Origin USA. And then if you want to get on the health train, they've got you covered on that too. So Jocko Fuel is going to make sure that you're all fueled up for all your good stuff. All your activities, make sure you're running right, make sure your brain's running right, make sure you're not getting sick with everything that they have. So with that being said, check them out. When you get there, when you get to checkout, put in the code GRIND10, GRIND 10. save yourself 10% off. James?
Grinder out.